Howdy ho, Lions fans. Welcome to the Detroit Lions podcast, episode 570. Last stop before it all starts right here. This is Detroit Lions podcast, the official podcast for Reddit. I'm your dashing host, Chris, and with me is my good friend and glorious co-host, Jeff, the Riz. Riz, you ready to move out for a while?
Yes, I am. Leave tomorrow for forward operating base Canton. So, yeah, it's good. Nice.
All right. Just so everyone knows that as you join us, I apologize with the silly chat this time. It's not going to work. Google Chrome and Google in their enigma of trying to serve you the most ads possible. Bypass paywalls clean, is working to prevent us from sharing the chat. They disabled all that, so we'll have it back up and running with the new thing next time. But it's just frustrating that they pull that one out of their ass. So there we go. We will talk to you. I'll read out your chat as we talk, like Psycho Billy 661 drinking some Mount Modelo's here in the podcast. Let out. That's nice, brother. I got some beer on delivery right now. Haven't had a chance to get any, but I'll be joining you soon, my friend. Let's see. Today's show, we got a lot to talk about, Riz. I know.
Yes, we do.
Lions PUP list announced. It's out. We'll talk about that. We'll get into it. Inking the deals. A couple folks who got signed and are ready to roll. It's a little bit of just normal kind of way things go, but it's a little later than we'll just talk about it a little bit. Training camp preview. Yeah. Play your battles to watch for training camp, and a whole lot more. Mr. Risden, we have a spectacular show lined up this evening. Are you willing to join us for this ride?
Let's do it.
Let's kick this off and break it down.
Let's go. Feeling it, Riz. It's been a long time.
Before we get started, I gotta say today is my son's 20th birthday. Happy birthday, Lane.
Happy birthday, Lane.
He is on his way to watching Def Leppard at Soaring Eagle, so it'll be fun.
We're half a lane. We're into our 11th year. He's into his 21st year, right? We've got 10 done. We're going into the year 11 now. A lot of cool stuff to come, and we will talk a little bit about that as we get rocking and rolling here. Let's start off. Have you heard of the Detroit Lions, Risen?
I have.
Okay. I just want to know, they're a local team, so I'm not sure many people heard about them. They have released their pup list. This is not a Humane Society Adopt a Puppy situation. What is PUP? That. What does that stand for our newer fans out there, Mr. Reeves?
That is physically unable to perform.
They make pills for that.
Which, yes, they do. They're probably advertising as we speak.
We would do a read for those guys if they would pay direct, but
I mean, yeah.
I
don't need the product, just pay me. Yeah. But yeah, so there's two different. There's actually three different lists that are going on. There's the physically unable to perform. There's the non-football injury list, and there's the non-football illness list. They're all basically the same thing. It means they're not ready to go. And most of them, with one exception that we'll talk about, will be back. They could be back tomorrow, for all we know, or Sunday. But there's one that won't be, and that's a little bit bigger of an issue, and we'll talk about that. But like Taylor Deckers is the biggest name that's on this. That was somewhat unexpected. He did talk to us in the last OTA and said that he had something done, and I don't remember what it was. I want to say that it was in his shoulder, but don't hold me to that. It might have been something else. But he'll be fine. This happens all the time. Just to go through it, I think there was 6 guys who are on the PUP that are coming back or coming in, and like most teams have 4. The Texans had 5. Browns had 9. 4 of them are coming off already. Like it could very well be that by the end of next week, they're all back. Like it's not. Well,
let's talk through. We talked about Taylor Decker a little bit. We got 2 guys that are likely not back for the foreseeable future. One young fella named Aleem McNeil and another one, Malcolm Rodriguez. Both on the defensive side of the ball, my friend. Aleem is actually a big loss. not as big as he used to be, but for the team, a big loss. He's that's a tough one because Liam was really just bubbling up, man. He's a key part of that line.
Yeah, he's a borderline top 10 defensive tackle in the league, and they're paying him like that too. So it would have been nice if he was there.
Yeah, but he's coming back for the playoffs, Riz. He'll be back. He'll get warmed up at the end of the season. He'll be back for the playoffs, and he'll earn that ring.
Our good friend and colleague, Dr. Jimmy Liao, has said that he will be back in November. Is the best prognosis? Couldn't think of the word there. Yes, prognosis for him to come back is probably not before Halloween, but maybe Thanksgiving would be the time where he comes back.
Yeah,
and there's still 5 or 6 games after that, and then of course the inevitable playoff run.
Yes,
where Detroit cruises to the Super Bowl, our first Super Bowl. That's going to happen. Get ready. Save up now because you're going to want to buy all that swag once we win the Super Bowl.
And when the tickets go out, buy them. And if for some reason the unthinkable happens, you'll make more than you spend on the tickets. They only go up in value.
Yes.
Let's see. And then Malcolm Rodriguez, for those who didn't know, he also had an ACL last year. So he went down on Thanksgiving. And so he's probably back a little bit earlier. His was about a month before Aleem's.
Yeah. Yeah. And his is the bye week is week 8. Seems like a good time for him to come back.
Yeah.
Right around that.
That is it.
If all is going well with him. And he's actually not said anything to anybody that I'm aware of. So we'll see where he's at. But I suspect he will be at camp just because he can't stay away.
The other half,
he is.
The other half of the PUP list, the other 3 guys, I'd like to know what you think about how quick they'll be back. Khalil Dorsey, Miles Frazier, and another D lineman, McKay Wingo. What do you think, my man?
Wingo could be a while.
Yeah.
Wingo could be a while because he tore his meniscus. And as we learned in the draft process, and I thank you, Dr. Liao, and also a colleague of mine who's studying to become a sports medicine person, torn meniscus is actually worse long-term than a torn ACL or torn LCL, MCL, because it's a tendon. I'm sorry, it's a ligament. No, it's a tendon and not a ligament. And the tendon, that doesn't heal well.
Mm-hmm.
So fingers are crossed on him. But he could be back if it wasn't like a complete tear. My understanding is that he could be back soon. If it was, let's pray that he gets back because that can be a career-altering injury.
Yeah.
Let's hope in this case it's not.
Yeah.
Dorsey is coming off of he broke the tib fib, basically the same injury that Hutchinson had, just like a month and a half later.
Mm-hmm.
Hutch looks fantastic.
Yeah.
If you've seen the videos, holy crap, dude.
He's out for blood. You love it,
man. He ran a 1.49 10-yard split. That's like the best running back in football. That's electric. That is as fast as Jahmyr Gibbs runs it. That's ridiculous.
I would not want to be facing up against him this year. And this is one of the things, when you draft a guy, this is everybody wants this guy, but the Lions really filter for this. The guy with this kind of heart and drive and grit to use the word. I don't want to. I don't want to make ham-handed.
Well, I'm going to use a lot of grit for the next few weeks. So y'all are going to get used to it.
This guy, look, he's top draft pick. He's paid. He's going to get paid, and he's coming back like a monstrosity. He looks. He could be better than he was after all that time off. This fearsome. I just am excited to see what this guy does. You just know, people who love what they do and are that passionate about it, no matter what it is, or they just always are they put you in awe to watch them. They're awesome to watch.
Yes.
And I just got this sense this year we're going to see Hutch take a leap that was, expected year over year, kind of. But I think it's still going to be bigger than kind of predicted. Just too much time in there. He was going to be
the defensive player of the year last year. He was certainly on pace for that, to run away with it.
Yeah.
And if he's coming back faster, and he is, Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we have a reserve, physically unable to perform list that pills aren't fixing.
Giddy.
They're gonna miss. He's gonna miss at least four games. That's Levi Onwuzurike. This is tough, man, because this is it.
That sucks.
This is it for him this year. And look, I'm not trying to be a jerk at all to the person that is, but we've talked about it. The number one ability is availability, and that's been he's looked like he's ready. This was the year where, okay, you've got the football in now in the pros. You've got to take that step and be the guy that we drafted. We've rode this train and seen what you can do. Now it's time to do it, right? And to start out missing the first 4 games just sucks.
Yeah, and it's not. It could be the first 4 games, and we don't know. My understanding is that this is not related to his back surgery. I don't know exactly what it is, but I was told fairly reliably that it's not that, which in some ways is better, but in also some ways it might oh crap, what do you do? And is this he's missing valuable time.
Yes, and
with Aleem out, he was going to be relied upon to be sort of the primary. Well, Tate Williams is going to do that, but he's going to be relied on to create pressure from the inside and hopefully finish a little bit better than he did last year, where I think he had 37 pressures, and I think he wound up with 2.5. It wasn't a good ratio,
right?
But he was pretty good about and active, and was somebody that offenses had to account for. And now he's going to be gone for at least the first 4 weeks. And by the way, when he's when you're doing this, he's not practicing. He's not working out. He's not getting any of that. He's in the meeting rooms taking mental reps, but that's different. It sucks because as people in the Patreon Select pointed out, he's on a 1-year prove-it deal, and this is why he's on that. And it's unfortunate that it's hit that way, but at the same time, if you want to be cheery about it, the Lions didn't pay him 4 years, $45 million. They're on, I forget what he's getting paid, but it's not a lot. I think it was $4.5 million. I hope he's back. Hope he can do it, because he's been a fantastic success story in everything that he's overcome. He's never been a negative guy. He's always been very upbeat. He took people like me, chastising him and telling him to retire in stride. He used that as fuel, which is great. I love that. I don't mind that at all. And I've been very happy to, and a lot of us in the media have been very happy to, tell the other side of his story, that he's come out the other side, and it's awesome.
And been about, for him, it's been about the physical piece, getting physically ready to play football at the NFL level. And he was almost there last year. He just, and it was supposed to be. And now here he is, muscles atrophy when you sit. It's the nature. So we'll have to see what happens. All right. So, at linebacker, we've got Trevor Nowaski, Grant Stewart, Zach Cunningham. I mean, it's the linebacker in particular is a deep position for the Lions. I think
you gotta watch out for Grant. Grant Stewart is going to be everybody who goes to training camp, y'all are gonna love this guy. Aside from the hair flowing out of the helmet, dude plays that hair is on fire. He's a fun one. He is very energetic, seek and destroy. He will run past targets sometimes because he's trying to kill them, but that's, he's a good player. Good special teamer. The Colts miss him already. I've talked to my friend Jake Arthur, who does Locked On Colts, said, you guys are really going to like him. We miss him here already.
Interesting. All right, so we have that. We also have we signed Roy Lopez for the D-line, and of course Tyleik Williams, who's going to be just a beast to watch. I'm so stoked. How about what you saw in OTAs and all the pre? What have you seen? What have you liked? Did we draft the right guy, Jeff?
Well, Tyleik was limited. He only did walkthrough stuff.
Yep.
He tweaked his hamstring that he tweaked at his pro day, which is somewhat concerning. I'm not gonna lie, but he's I said this when I talk about him after the draft. His ability to stay unblocked and strafe laterally in the run game is unreal. It's wow. You don't see that. And interior pass rush wise, like Ohio State didn't need him to do it, so he didn't have to do it. He wound up still getting decent amount of pressures for being a nose tackle. He's not going to be a nose tackle in Detroit. He's going to play the 3. He's very bright future, and he certainly fits the grit. I'm gonna have overkill with this. If y'all get sick of that, like, just sorry, can't help myself.
Yeah. Tyler 45. I'm kind of scared going into last year. I was extremely confident in 4 of our offensive line. This year, not so much right now. And I'm in this spot. I'm just not going to worry. Fraley has managed. I mean, year after year after year is, and this, this isn't a knock on you because this is the general consensus of, oh God, if one guy gets hurt, this line is dead. And we played 5 new guys at certain parts during the seasons across the line, and the line has been just anchors, absolute anchors for this team. So as long as Fraley's there, I've got no fear, man. I got no fear.
I need Panay in the lineup. They need him.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still think at tackle, like the number 3 tackle, like Dan Skipper, I freaking love you, dude. I don't want you starting more than like 1 game. Like,
yeah. Love you, Skips. Go catch some balls.
Yes. Love Skips. One of the things that I actually took away from the spring was how much of a leader Dan Skipper has become for the unit. Like when Ragnow retired, he volunteered to come out and talk to us in the media. Like, he's like, I got this. And you can see him like powwowing with the other linemen. He's like, he did that. Now, he was, very connected to Frank Ragnow. He was the student athlete who hosted Frank Ragnow in his official visit when he went to Arkansas. Worked out pretty well. They're clearly very tight. They're both outdoorsy type people. The Grizzly Man thing, whatever.
Grizzly Man outdoors.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
It's Grizzly Man indoors too.
Been out of this too long. I'm not sure. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to Skip, and like Skip has been, just a personal favorite of mine since I talked to him at the Shrine game back in St. Pete when it was still there. Practicing at Shoreline Academy, and he ended early by fielding a punt, like on the dead run. Like, just fun guy. Not a guy that you want to get angry at you, but
he's a short fuse.
Guy.
He's a short fuse.
Yes, which is great on the field.
Yeah. Except at practice, it took a long time to teach him not to hurt his own players.
Yeah, if there's a fracas in practice, he's probably involved. He might have started it.
Oh man! All right, so
don't touch his quarterback. Don't touch his quarterback.
Lions PUP list is out. Let's pop into the next one. Ratledge signs his contract along with a number of people. There's a little longer than we like. Riz, obviously, we drafted a guy that doesn't want to play here. This is going to break down every plan we had because he has no desire to be in Detroit.
Oh God, the Houston Texans they put monkeys in their wrenches in the monkey lab. I don't know, like whatever they did. They gummed things up.
Every team you've ever covered seems to screw things up until finally the Lions got their crap together.
I don't even want to talk. As a quick aside, I was in Cleveland last weekend at a very large gathering. My dad had his 80th birthday. There was a ton of people at my sister's house. It was fantastic. And people wanted to talk about the Browns, but more they wanted to complain about the Browns and how much they hate that team now. That they can't do anything right, that they're moving out of the city. It's very nice to not be covering that team anymore. They're certainly interesting. I actually think that they might be kind of good too, but they can't get out of their own way. But yeah, this one was the Texans. And they signed Jaden Higgins, the number 34 overall pick. And instead of doing like 96% guaranteed contract, so second round picks are not guaranteed fully. First round picks are. 33rd pick, which is the first pick of the second round, is like 98%. It slides down to 96%, then 94% for the third, and so on. Well, the Texans screwed that up because they gave him a fully guaranteed contract at 34. The Browns, about 6 hours later, signed number 33, Carson Schlesinger. Their starting linebacker is going to be good. to a fully guaranteed contract as well. And then everybody else is like, oh, all the other second-round picks are like, oh, we get this too, right? Right? And the teams are like, you, Nick Caserio, Texas GM, screwing things up. And it took a while. I think the 49ers signed their guy like Monday or Tuesday.
Yep.
And there's still quite a few that aren't signed. Lions are opening camp earlier than everybody else. The Lions and Chargers, because they're playing in the Hall of Fame game. By the way, Mike Williams, the Chargers receiver, does one Jim Harbaugh practice and retires. That's soft as shit, man. The anti-grit factor there. But I digress. But yeah, so Ratledge came in. I still haven't seen the numbers on it officially. What percentage got guaranteed? He was supposed to get, I want to say it was like 74%, something like that. If people know it in the chat, they can throw it out there. I don't have it in front of me, but he's in. He's good.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah, they're gonna be grand. Who was it? Joey two times. This roster is loaded. That's
Yes.
This.
Yes, they are. They really are.
I after all 10 years of doing this, right? All the years of fandom before. I don't know. I mean, I know we've never had a roster like this ever in the time covering the team. It's absolutely bananas how quickly and how well Brad Holmes and company have done in building out this Detroit Lions team, man. It's like right now, some teams, probably the Chiefs and the old days, the Patriots, right? You have that expectation, we're going to be in the Super Bowl, right? Okay, fine. That's kind of elite tier stuff. That's very, very rare. But the Detroit Lions, the expectation is the playoffs now. Like, no question. Yeah. Playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
And I always go back and use this as my example, but I think it's so strong. 9-7 got the Giants a Super Bowl ring. You just have to make the dance, man. And now the Lions will reliably make the dance, which just tells me we're going to get that. It's going to happen. And you know what? We've made the dance now twice in a row. We're getting good. We know what we're doing there. I have a sense that we're going to see some magic, man. I really, with this roster, the experience, the coaches, we're still on the upswing. The talent is through the roof. The right people are coming back. I love this year. I love where this team's going, man. I'm so excited. Mm-hmm. So we got Ratledge. That's a great sign. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking at my PFF, and we've got him at guard, and we have Graham Glasgow as the center. What do you think about that, Riz?
I do think that having an experienced center is more important than having an experienced guard. But, Glasgow got to play better than he did last year. We've talked about that a lot. Like, he was not good down the stretch at all. He was, in fact, PFF's worst graded offensive lineman, regardless of position, from week 10 on, including the playoffs. Can't have that again. I hope that he can bounce back. It's certainly not out of the question that he can wind up being a very good player once again, as he has been in the past. But he's got to be healthy. He's got to get bought in on it. The nice thing is that there are options. Tate Ratledge, Christian Mahogany playing left guard seems to be the certainty now of the interior offensive line.
Right.
We're going to see him play center, right guard. Ratledge will be in the mix, certainly. I think he should be expected to start, but Tristan Colon is in. I don't think we pay nearly enough attention to him as a former starter at both center and guard for the Cardinals. Cardinals fans seem to miss him. See about that. I'll be honest, that move didn't move my needle very much, but he's certainly got a chance to prove himself. Alshika's back. He's spot started. Not been bad. Miles Frazier's in once he gets off PUP. Sounds like they're going to be grooming him a little bit as the backup tackle. And again, with Manu, who freaking knows what's going on with that guy. We're all anxiously awaiting to see Giovanni Manu in pads in year 2. My fingers are crossed, man. Yes. Athletically, holy crap, dude. Wow.
We got really quick. Ken McCain in the chat. Someone's going to clean up when we cut from 90 to 53. And it's going to be, this year is going to be so hard to watch that happen. I mean, this is probably the year that we're going to watch somebody disappear from the practice squad that we've tried to stash.
And it could very well be one of the linemen that doesn't make it. Kingsley Aguakun is an NFL player. He might not make the roster.
Yep.
He's going to be better than some other teams have projected as a starter. Like that's where we're at. So like we're unsettled on the interior, and it's a valid question. Like if you're looking at it from a national perspective, you're like, oh, they just lost 2 good starters. We did. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that they can't be replaced. They do in fact have to replace them, but I don't think that they've looked and like, oh, like they kind of planned for this getting Tate Ratledge in. You know, they brought Tristan Colon in. Like, guy can play a little bit. Good scheme fit. You know, they've got Aguakun, who's played very well last year on the practice squad. Made a lot of his teammates like, oh yeah, dude can play. Like he's one of the guys. So yeah, I don't know, man. Miles Frazier, I like him a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's got the chance to be a good starter as well. And Mahogany, if you've watched this show at all in the last 2 years, Christian Mahogany is, my hymns. So good there.
Well, we'll just using again. PFF is PFF, right? They have their methodology. Yeah. At least they try to quantify the subjective. But you look across the entirety of the offense, you don't have a player ranked less than 67 other than Glasgow. Ratledge doesn't have a ranking yet, but you've got, I mean, a couple guys in the 90s. Everybody's in the 70s. I mean, it's pretty freaking strong. I mean, you only have one guy in the 60s, and that's Tim Patrick, right? I mean, you have one hell of a roster on the offensive side of the ball. It's pretty bananas to look at these guys. And
Patrick is wide receiver 3, and he's just placeholding for Isaac Tesla to come take that spot. So, like, it's not like a huge deal. And some of the reason why Tim Patrick is so low is that his durability score is probably a 12. Like if you're playing Madden, it can't be more than a 30. I haven't played Madden in forever, but I remember like the guys who got hurt all the time, like it was like 10 for durability, like just out all the time.
Looking really strong. So there we are. The contracts are signed. The rest of the guys are on. Nothing to worry about contract wise. Nothing really out of the ordinary here. This is just
everybody's signed that needs to be signed. They brought in 3 people. So my guy Anthony Tyus, a fellow Ohio Bobcat, unfortunately got waived yesterday due to a non-football illness. I don't know what that was, but there was a lot of people rooting for him around here. Well, first off, because we're an Ohio Bobcat house, and secondly, he's from the Kalamazoo area. He's from the Portage Northern. Great guy. I got to talk to him at length after rookie minicamp and was really rooting for him. And I thought he had a very decent chance to stick on the practice squad as the number 5 running back, but he's gone. They brought in Jabari from Tennessee. Can't think of his last name. Smith, Miller, one of the generic names, but dude's, Kai Robichaux. Look, the top 4 running backs are set. Sione Vaki is your running back 4. He's not going anywhere because he's.
We just signed a running back, Riz.
Yeah, we did.
We were desperate.
Jabari.
We were desperate.
Yes, holes to fill.
This is the thing you talked about. We lost 2 starters. That's likely going to happen every year. And with a roster like ours, it's always going to be good starters because our roster is filled with so many good players. This is the part where good GMs pay for themselves in spades, where you lose these guys and you can replace them. Very much like we saw with Ratledge and Grizzly Man there. We kind of have someone in place. We have like a plan, and the step down is not too big to start with, and potentially we could wind up in just as good shape or even better potentially. I think that's good news. That's great roster design. That's great roster building. And you know who else is great roster builder, Riz?
Who's that?
Every one of you, because you love to play fantasy football. I had to put it in somewhere.
Wow. Well
fantasy.detroitlions.podcast.com. It's Friday today, starting Saturday. So starting actually late tonight. The site will go live. Yeah, the site will go live. You can join us, win cash and prizes. Cash for the first 3 runs. You get merch for the fourth place. So 1/3 of every league is a winner. We do this every single year. We have a beginners league and a champions league, and you can walk away with some pretty good prizes and cash. Go to fantasy.detroitlionspodcast.com. Join the fantasy football fun that we've been doing. I mean, this is 8 years or something we've been doing this. It's a lot of fun. Riz winds up in a league, I wind up in a league, and we go to it and have a good time. Join us for fantasy football. It's a ton of fun.
I tend to lose.
Fantasy.detroitlionspodcast.com.
I tend to lose because, as Chris and I were talking before we went on the air, I am still like team take your QB in the first round guy. That's who I am.
Yeah, it's interesting. Injuries have just destroyed me. I used to have a knack for fantasy football, and now I am just destroyed.
Like I got on the whole injuries. So 2 years ago, Laporta's rookie year. I took Laporta, and I also had George Kittle as my tight ends, and they were like my 3rd and 6th round picks. I actually took Kittle very early, and then I had some wide receiver who was really good. I don't even remember who it was, but that was the year that I waited on the quarterbacks forever, and all of my good players, other than Laporta, got hurt, and I came in dead last. And the quarterback that I wanted was Josh Allen, and I could have taken him, and I didn't. And the guy who took him won the league. So I'm still grinding my gears over that.
All right, there we are. So we have our contract signed. We got our players going. We got a season ready, and you're going to go to fantasy.detroitlionspodcast.com and sign up for fantasy football. Next one. Let's talk about the Lions training camp preview. The first thing we want to talk about is our big kickoff show on Tuesday, Riz.
Yes.
Tuesday evening.
Pretty good.
We'll have a throbbing threesome. The Juice Crew is here. It'll be Chris, the Riz, and the Michael Gray joining to come bring it all. We're going to talk to you about training camp.
There's a lot going on there.
I don't know what you're thinking, you dirty-minded bastard. Or maybe I do. We're all getting together. We're going to kick off the training camp. We're going to give you all the latest, all the info. And Gray and I are going to extract every ounce of knowledge out of Risden's head. He will be an exhausted shell of himself by the time this show is over. And you will be juiced because you'll be ready to go and know everything that's going on.
That's going to be a hell of a day.
Yeah.
So my Tuesday, Lions practice AM. Drive back to Grand Rapids. I am hosting on the radio. I will be the huge show next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then I get home from that, and I will be joining y'all.
Joining us all.
Wednesday I will sleep because Wednesday is no media access. So I will be home, enjoy my own shower, pet my cat for a little bit, and sleep.
Excellent. Good stuff. So yes, get ready. This is going to be a lot of fun. We've got a lot coming at you again this year. As usual, we change some things up, and I got to tell you about this idea, Riz. We've got something I think we can do that'll be pretty big.
Sounds good.
Like to change things up, like to bring things a little different and have a lot of fun with it. So stay tuned. We got a lot of good stuff coming this year. Let's get into it. Training camp preview. What else? What's going on, Riz? Just give us first off some dates and some kind of housekeeping around training camp and tickets. So people going.
I just have the media schedule in front of me. I think they're actually practicing tomorrow, but media access starts Sunday, and we have access through the end of August. We get 2 days after the preseason finale, and then we get Das Boot for a couple weeks until the regular season starts. But yeah, so we're at, I got the schedule right here. Can't show it to you because I'll get in trouble, but there's a lot on here. Basically, we're going full bore through joint practices. So practices start Sunday for us. I believe the fans can get in next Friday.
I think it's Saturday, the 26th.
Is it Saturday? Okay.
I thought it was. Let me look.
Like the first day is like Lions loyalty, and then the next day is open for everybody. And the tickets went like that.
Yeah,
it's insane.
I'm in deep crap. Actually, this is the one that hurts. This year's the hardest year, and it's like, man, I was there when you didn't have to look for a seat. You know what I mean? They were all there. Here it is. If I look, it is
I remember,
Lions
like,
loyal on the 20s.
I think it's the 25th. I could be wrong on that. But then, like, we're going, like, we get the Hall of Fame game is the 31st in Canton, Ohio. I'll be there for that. So we, generally we don't get media access, or they don't do practice the day
26.
before and the day after the preseason games. Either those are travel rest off days. We do get joint practices with the Dolphins. Let's see, those are Wednesday the 13th and Thursday the 14th. We have one joint practice with the Texans. That's on the 21st. The final preseason game is Saturday, August 23rd.
Yeah.
At Ford Field.
So
1 o'clock kickoff.
Opening day is 26th to the public for season ticket holders, and then the 28th for the general public.
Yeah.
I thought this is where the pain is. I'm going to be there, and because of how the schedule worked out and the way they did it, my only chance is the 26th. And my boy and we have no tickets. I have no idea how we're going to do it. And there's only one day that we have a chance to go. So this could be the first year in a long time, Riz, that I can't get in. It makes me so sad.
That stinks. Yeah. I will be there for just about every day, especially for the first couple of weeks. The week after between the Dolphins and the Texans game, I will probably be gone. I don't know. Life intercedes sometimes, but it's going to be a good time. I'll thank the Lions for renewing my credentials. This is year number 11 as credentialed media, which is great. Very happy about that. If you're going to Allen Park, by the way, you will notice where you used to walk to the left side as you walked in from Rotunda Drive. You used to walk by some trees, and like the parking lot was there. Well, the parking lot has expanded over that way. And I'm not sure that you're going to be able to get in that way. I'm not sure what they're going to do with that logistically, but it'll look a little different. And they needed to add more parking because you started to have to park across the street. The people across the street didn't like that.
Oh, yeah, I used to work across the street. We used to. So this is in the day, I'm not even kidding, where you could just see it. Like when you would pull down like the Southfield service ride, there was everyone practicing. There was no trees. There was nothing there. Like you could just see the field. And we used to yell. They were so bad. We used to yell coming back to work from lunch at them. Get your ass moving. Let's go. It was so frustrating to be a Lions fan back then. we were kind of assholes.
It was not an easy sell back then.
No, God. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I really hope, and I'm sure they haven't, but when you get off of the Southfield Freeway at Rotunda Drive, going across the bridge over that is like, it's the worst road in the state of Michigan. I swear to God. Like in general, like, and I will stand up for this. I drive everywhere all over the Midwest throughout, for my kids' sports. Michigan roads have gotten a lot better relative to Indiana, Illinois. Minnesota's terrible. Ohio is kind of hit and miss. West Virginia's actually quite nice. Pennsylvania, not so much. But like Michigan's like, we've improved a lot. Most places. That particular area of Detroit, not yet. And that's very frustrating.
And, there's two sides of this coin. One side, if I'm an automaker, I'm going to make sure that the roads near my facilities are pristine.
Yes!
You know what I mean? And
you're trying to get to the Henry Ford, and you're going to lose your freaking hubcaps.
Yeah. Now, that said, you do sell more cars when there's bad roads. And you got people with a higher propensity of buying your product that are by your headquarters. I just don't. I'm like, no. Those roads should be pristine around there, and they should be investing and helping the whoever it takes to make those right. It's really, really bad. It's a mess over there. So
I'll say, like on the west side of the state, other than Ionia County, which is forever just under construction, roads are a lot better than they were 3, 5, 10 years ago. It's much better going north too. I haven't been up there in a little bit. I haven't been north of I haven't been up to the UP since March, but the roads were a lot better this year than they were the first time we went up there a couple of years ago. So it's progress.
Yeah.
Relative to the other states around us, it's good progress. Indiana, I don't know if Indiana has public employees anymore because the roads have gone to crap. Like there's dead deer everywhere. There's dead animals all over the place. Nothing's mowed. It's rough.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, drive from Angola to Fort Wayne. You almost need a mouthpiece to keep your teeth from chattering so much.
All right, well, we'll keep going. Training camp is kicking. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right.
I'm excited.
Did I tell you I got
in a car accident? Did I tell you what I'm going to watch, Chris?
Did I tell you I got in a car accident? I got hit by a semi at 80 miles an hour. Tried to send me over the concrete barrier, blew out my front tire. It was crazy.
Well, you need to call the Bernsteins because you get the Bernstein advantage. Official sponsors of the Detroit Lions.
I was in a rental car for work. It was I was trying to get to the airport to get home. I missed my flight. It was all bad. It was all bad. So I mean, it could have been a heck of a lot worse, but it was just. I was ready to beat the shit out of a truck driver.
From personal experience here, if you get in an incident with a rental car, don't pay any of the bills because I assume that you declined the extra coverage.
No, work pays for it. Work pays for it, so we've got the last.
That's nice.
But they charged me like $2,000 on my corporate card. I'm just like, nah, I got to do all the phone calls. It's just stupid. No.
So what you have to do, and this worked for me. They actually have to have the car fixed. And if they don't fix it, they can't collect your money. If you ask them for the receipts to fix it, they
really.
A long time ago, I went to the Texas BYU football game in Austin in 2011, 2012, and I had a rental car, and my car got broken into, and the back windows both got broken out, and Hertz tried to bill me. It was like $1,100 to fix the windows, but they never got them fixed. I'm like, I won't pay it until I see the receipts. And I wound up winning, because they didn't fix it, they let it go. So make sure if you ever get in that situation, life advice.
Yeah. Hey, anyone who can help a brother out with tickets, I'm looking for two. On the 26th. I know it's a tough day because it's the first day, but if you can't make it, my boy and I would be really, really happy. Or if I can get two people with an extra, and we can get in that way, just to coordinate, as Lucas said, that'd be great. All right, let's go back to training camp. A little diversion there. Sorry about it.
It's all right.
So we got the date set up. What are you looking for, Riz, when you come to training camp this year? We've been there a lot. So, it's no longer Rothstein getting drilled with a football and kicking practice. That's not the highlight of the training camp anymore. There's some real football players out there doing real football.
Went everywhere.
The sunscreen go like he blew in.
That's legitimately one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Was standing like 10 feet away. Like, oh my God. Sorry, Mike.
Oh man.
Oh my God, that was fun. So there are certain, we don't have a lot of positions. I went through and I did my projections for the 53-man roster at Lions Wire, and I'm sure about 49 of them, 48 of them for sure. There's not a great deal of drama. So one of the big things I'll be watching, Giovanni Manu. Is he going to push Dan Skipper to be the number 3? Can he be active as a second-year player? Because last year he absolutely wasn't close to being ready. I'm hopeful that he can be ready.
Yeah,
we'll see. He is Hank Fraley's
with Decker starting on PUP. It's like there's a shot. There's a chance. You know what I mean? To see something here. It's it's your moment, man.
Yeah, like Decker could be back Sunday for all we know. Hope he is.
Yeah,
but just getting more reps. Decker doesn't need a tremendous amount of reps. Now he does need to coordinate with Mahogany being next to him because that's important. But Manu needs all the reps that he can get because he had late years to travel last year before he was close to being ready to play. And again, they can't cut him because somebody else will take him up in a second. They have to keep him on the 53. That was the case last year. Let's hope he's progressed.
Someone else to kind of keep an eye. I got someone else to watch. We can run through some names here because there are some.
Yeah, go for it.
Hendon Hooker. I love this.
That's where I was going next.
Yeah,
you go for it.
I love this guy so much. He was so great at Senior Bowl talking to us. He was polished but so human. It's so hard not to root for this guy. And I mean, the Hooker jokes, of course, write themselves, whatever. But I really, really want this guy to come in, be competent, and be that. Oh God, what was his name? Sean Hill. I was going to say 2 one-syllable names. Yes. That kind of Sean Hill backup where you're like, I don't care. Not that I don't care, but if my quarterback goes down for a game, I'll be okay because I've got a guy that can carry the load. And Hendon hasn't shown that yet. I don't know what we're going to see, but this is his opportunity, and I think opportunities are starting to lean out for him to really be that solid backup. But it's hard to get a real number 2 who's potentially number 1 caliber who doesn't leave anyway to go to another team and be number 1. So it's a tough slot to fill, right?
They have brought in, like, Kyle Allen is in town. He is not Jake Fromm. He is not Nate Sudfeld. He is somebody who could realistically take the job from Hendon Hooker. I don't expect that to happen, but at the same time, Hendon's got to play better. He's got to show it more consistently. I am very curious how the change away from Ben Johnson as the offensive coordinator will impact Hooker. Because if you were at camp last year, you saw it. There was a clear disconnect between what Ben Johnson wanted from Hendon Hooker and what Hendon Hooker is capable of doing. Is that going to change with John Morton and David Shaw running the offense now? Obviously, Mark Brunell's back as the quarterback's coach. But
quietly a big deal having him back.
He's a good dude. Yeah. Dude. We'll always root for Brunell, aside from the fact that we share a birthday. We share it with Rasheed Wallace, by the way. Good company there.
I have someone else I want to talk about.
What is that?
And this, I don't want to frame this. People are really sensitive here, so I think that tells what you're going to go to, right? Mr. J-Mo, this is it, bro. This is the year where I can't wait to see all the greatness that you have, because all signs are pointing up, right? My guy has figured everything out and still has his soul.
He's growing up right in front of us, Chris.
Yeah, but he still has his soul. He's still the man he was. You know what I mean? And I think that's so important. Yeah. I'm just really excited to see him have a breakout season. Put himself on the cover of Madden or that kind of a thing. Maybe not that, but the kind of thing where he's one of those premier guys that people look at and teams are truly afraid of and actually have to make big changes and schematic moves to try to cover him. This is the year for that, and I can easily see that happen. Like you said, he grew up in front of us, and now I can't wait.
So I will tell you what a friend of mine who is not in the media anymore, but used to be, said of him is that he can be the Isaac Bruce to Amon-Ra's Torrey Holt.
Ooh.
And I liked that a lot.
Bro.
I'm like, that's good. Yeah, if that happens, and look, he's on the path. One of the things that we saw last year was the consistency to which he did things the way that they demanded from him, and did it willingly. He's still got a little bit of a goofball to him. I like that. I think the Lions like that. He's got a very high ceiling.
The cat symbol behind us going off, since I can't show the comments because Chrome did the thing that Chrome from doing. I got to say thank you to Nirvana Tone for the super chat. Jeff, you're my favorite Lions beat writer by a mile. Keep up the amazing work with Little Heart. That's fantastic.
Appreciate that.
And Tampa Detroit Lion, thank you as well. Always showing up and bringing it big. Appreciate you, brother. Best Lions coverage anywhere. Thank you, Chris and Jeff. Any chance J-Mo leads the team in TDs and receptions? So there's a chance. I think there's a chance. If
receptions,
he has that kind of year, okay.
Touchdowns is going to be tough. Well, maybe.
I think TDs are more possible than receptions. because Amon-Ra is just that.
Amon-Ra is going to catch.
Yeah.
I think Laporte is going to catch more passes too.
Yeah,
but you're going to get JMO getting more yards from that.
Yeah, I think the TDs
and there's always the chance they could be, they could be using him on jet sweeps, tunnel screens, things like that. By the way, if you ever watched Stanford's football when David Shaw was running their offense, they were the masters of the tunnel screen.
Yeah,
keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. Oh gosh,
Get Panay and Sam Laporte out in front of you with Amon-Ra blocking in front of JMO on a tunnel screen.
Yep. Dude, I want to go back. I saw a video. It was a reminder. I completely forgot about this. Johnny Morton, our offensive coordinator, from Hard Knocks, stood up and was the guy that actually spoke up and said the words about keeping Craig Reynolds on the team. You know what I mean? And it's like, holy, I'd completely forgotten about that. Craig's been such an impactful player, and the game in Tampa was, I'll never, the block that he laid.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Just, what a game, man. What a game he had that day. I actually met him that day, right? It was fantastic. He's really good dude. Easy to root for. Love to see a guy like that, coming up and playing the way he's playing and getting his spot in the league. But Johnny Morton, man, just the connect he has with this team. I think people undersell, and I think we're going to see a kind of a little flip of the lens on what this team does this year. Not a major rework, but just the aperture is going to shift a little on how they do this, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch teams try to adjust to how the Lions have adjusted. It's going to be interesting this year.
Yeah, the elephant in the room is always like Ben Johnson's gone. Like, what's going to happen with the offense? I think it's going to get a little. It's probably not going to be as intricately exciting. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be good. Like, that doesn't mean that they can't do things better.
I think
there's going to be more consistency to the things that they do well, and less gimmicky stuff.
That's what I was going to say. I think they're going to stop outsmarting themselves. That's where I think the big improvement's going to be. So many times we got too cute and too, I don't think that's Johnny Morton. I don't think that's what's going to happen. And as you got a team that can execute on things so well in so many ways, and then you pull out the banana stuff, leave the banana split at home.
The fake fumble handoff. That's Ben Johnson. It's bad as hell when it works, but if it doesn't work, that's bad. I think there's going to be less of that type of, experimentation.
Yes.
You're going from.
I don't think we're going to lack creativity. I just think we're not going to be in our own heads when it comes to making those calls. So
yeah, I think the blocking will be more sane. I think there's going to be a lot less of you go Panay. You block the guy that's lined up to the outside shoulder of Taylor Decker. Decker, you go and take the guy that's heads up over the center. Center, you go out and take the middle linebacker. That was what they did last year at times. And there's the plus to it is that the defense is what the fuck? But then if it doesn't work, then Gibbs is getting hit 2 yards in the backfield, or Goff's getting buried. That does happen. It did happen from time to time as well. I think there's going to be more, less chaos.
Yeah.
I think Ben Johnson did a very good job of channeling chaos into the Lions offense and making it work very well. And there will be times when I do think we miss that, but I also think on the whole, I don't think we're going to miss some of the weird stuff either.
Yeah.
And I hope that Chicago tries to do it, because Caleb Williams cannot do what Jared Goff does.
That's right.
Jared Goff is really good at that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Really good at it. I don't think he gets enough credit for how good he is at play action and looking things off and reading the exact timing on things. Caleb Williams can't do that. Maybe he will in the future, but he can't now.
I think Chicago is going to start out better, right? But my sense is that Chicago is going to fade throughout the year as the personality of the coach starts to bleed into how they do things, and the pressure of actually running a team starts to. Pressure does not do well with him, and he starts to push people away and alienate them. And I think you're going to see a lot of, if things don't go perfectly, which is exactly how they have to go for him before he starts feeling the stress and the chaos.
Yes, he is a micromanager.
Yep. That's not going to fly.
And that doesn't always sit well with him. Now, I do think on paper they have more talent than Green Bay does from top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But
can they marshal it?
I will begrudgingly give Matt LaFleur some credit. I think he's done a pretty fair job with what he's been given. They have a lot of questions there that I don't think are getting addressed nearly enough.
I've been talking about that. I've been talking
2 years ago. Haven't worked out at all to this point, and nobody seems to want to talk about that.
Yeah. Last guy we'll talk about, Broderick Martin. This is it, man. This is the last one in the barrel. We
love Bro Mart. We interviewed him like right after he joined the Lions. He was great. He was gregarious. He remembers me. He remembered me like the first time he saw me. He came up to me and thanked me personally for having him on. Yeah. Like most guys are pretty appreciative, but like he was like wow, man, like over the top almost.
His heart, his soul. He's such a great dude. It just hurts. This is it, man. This is it. Bro Mart, show up, bro. Please.
He's got to do it this year because his draft status won't save him this year. They brought in Roy Lopez to play that exact spot.
Yep.
Roy Lopez is better than him. I think Raekwon Williams can be better than him. That's guy. If you're looking for sleepers, Raekwon Williams is back. He looked really good, really good this spring physically. If he can channel some of that onto the field, he's got a very good chance of making this team over Bro Mart. I think Pat O'Connor is ahead of him solidly, but if people say on PUP or an injury happens, Wingo isn't back, Raekwon Williams can take that job. Chris Smith's still around too. He's not a bad player either.
Legendary dad in the Slack says Bro Mart, he's just too dang tall, no leverage. His pads are like the top of the Eiffel Tower every time. I don't know how. He's just got to find a way to get lower. He just has to. Tall guys have played and can play and be successful, but he's just got to find a way to play down close to the ground, man. Yeah. All right. Boy, oh boy. Training camp, man.
I'm ready. I can't wait for Sunday morning just to be back and smell the turf. I do not listen to hip hop music on my own, but that's what plays at the practice, and I end up learning all the latest hip hop things, which is kind of nice. I don't mind it.
Yeah. Oh no, I make play training camp, Senior Bowl, every football event I go to. I'm Shazamming shit I haven't heard or that I've heard but don't remember,
yes, exactly.
And I build and I throw together playlists that last me for months, man. I'll tell you a brand new band. They're not brand new, but a band that I discovered when I was in Hawaii, Riz, and I can't get enough of them. They're kind of a reggae deal, but it's such good music. Stick Figure, holy cow! They're like a Sublime kind of reggae feel.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. Oh. Wow, man. Stick Figure's fantastic. Can't get enough. All right. Nirvana Tone, thank you so much for the super chat. Again, another question, and this is a good one. This gets us right into the top player battles to watch, I think, Riz. Can you please unpack how well do you think our O-line will perform if we assume Tate Ratledge is the center all season? Let me put a thing out there, Riz, and then I'll let you jump in if you don't mind. I think Tate's kind of path this year is he's going to take that role midseason of center. I really do. I think we're going to wind up with guard or Glasgow moving to guard. 2 G's mess me up. Around midseason, and we'll start seeing Ratledge playing center. I think it's about getting him set up to do that.
Yeah. By his week 8, good time to make a change.
Yeah.
Mid-season.
Yep.
I could absolutely see that. I do think that Graham Glasgow will be your starting center week 1.
Yeah.
Just for the cohesion factor. The fact that Ratledge is still learning on the job, but if he takes the job, that's great. That's good because that is his long-term spot. He will be the center in 2026. I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah, and
assuming he handles it as well as what everybody has told me he will. From
the grit this guy's got, man. The absolute grit.
I will say
he is a man's
he's tall.
man. Yeah. Yeah.
He's got to, and this did show when he was at center, is he's popping up so he can see. Gotta learn how to see from down lower. And if he needs help on that, that's one thing that Kingsley Aguakun is great at next to him. Kingsley's a small guy. He will battle, but he's really good about like being in his stance, being level, being balanced, strong anchor as much as he can be, and still seeing. And I think Ratledge is learning that. That's something that look, when you move from outside to inside, it's always like you've got to play lower, but at the same time, you've also got to your eyes have to be quicker. And there's going to be some growing pains there, sure, but Tate Ratledge, he's a good football player. He'll be good in time. Again, he might have a week where he gives up 2 sacks.
What's wild is that Tate is getting so much more press than Tyleek. You know what I mean? I mean, just and I think that's actually,
I think some of that is an anti Tyleek went to Ohio State, which a lot of people immediately can't stand. Like, they instantly hate the guy just because of where he went, which is unfair, but okay. He also wasn't asked to go after the quarterback, and they used the first-round pick on a guy who played nose tackle in college.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean he's going to play nose tackle in the NFL. He can, but he will be your Elaine McNeil replacement week 1, and I think people will like him.
Yeah.
Again, there will be growing pains, but he's a good one. And DJ Reader is an exceptional mentor next to him. He's played with some great players in time, and Tyleek can very well be the next one. I like Tyleek quite a bit.
Detroit Fan Man has a great question. Who's under more pressure, Tyleek or Tate? I'm going to say it's Tate. And the reason why,
I'm going to say Tate too.
It's like being this is a weird one, a goaltender in soccer. When the goal goes in, everyone's looking at you. If someone gets past you on the offensive line, or there's a flag that goes, everyone's looking at you. It stands out. When you're rushing, you're just looking for who's the person that breaks. You know who's going to get all the fans' attention and the attention from everybody? Hutch.
97.
Yep. And if Tyleek breaks through, everyone's going to love it. It's just kind of the nature. So I think Tate's going to have more pressure. But when you look at this guy and just what he's made of, I don't think for him it's difficult at all. You know what I mean? I don't think he won't be able to take the lights.
Last year, the pass rush evaporated, and the team still went 15-2. Why? Because they could outscore everybody because the offense was a machine. There are a couple of cogs missing from that machine. Tate Ratledge is going to be required at some point sooner than later to be one of those cogs.
Yep. And
if he's not, this is still a team that's designed to win games by scoring 30 or more points. Now, their defense is going to be a lot better this year. I don't think there's any question about that. But this is still a team that loves to get out. They're going to score 10 points in the first quarter. They're going to hold you to a punt and a 5 and out.
Yep.
And that's then you're Dan Campbell's plaything, and you don't want to be that if you're the opposing team. But if the offense isn't clicking early in a game, that can be problematic. And it's all set up off the run. Ratledge is indeed a better run blocker than pass blocker, and I do appreciate that. Mahogany is too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Decker is too. Panay Sewell certainly is. In fact, one of the weird things that I looked at this summer, because summer season is list season, and Panay kind of got dinged a little bit on a couple of lists that I thought was unfair. But most of the people, I guess, correctly pointed out, pressure-wise, he's only an average pass protector, statistically.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of bears out. But run blocking, he's on another on another level.
Piss him off, people.
My friend Brandon Thorne, who does trench warfare, check it out. He had a very good breakdown of between Lane Johnson and Panay Sewell in one of his latest videos and ranking things. Brandon knows what he's doing. He is omnipresent at the O-line thing that Charles Bentley did, masterminds, all that stuff. He's very involved in that. He has very nice things to say about Panay. I think that's. Aside from the fact that Brandon's a good dude, he knows what he's doing on that, and he has a lot of professional input on that too. So it's cool.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Oof, man, that's it. This is it. This is the last stop, man. The last stop before this train leaves the station for 2025 NFL Detroit Lions football. It's exciting. Super exciting. Don't forget about fantasy.detroitlionspodcast.com. That's going up tonight. It's not there yet, but you can sign up, get into the fantasy football league, and have a ton of fun. Get in there, play against Riz, play against me, play against the Ash, who's at a comedy festival this weekend, and just all the acts he's listing through. Jesselnick, I mean, I wish I was there. Good stuff going on in Edmonton, man. We'll see Ash. We'll see Gray on Tuesday. Don't forget to see us on Tuesday. We've got the booming season kickoff. Rocking and rolling and Flounder. Pack the bag, start the plane. This show is over. Thank you, Flounder, for the super chat. We will do. Don't forget us on Patreon, patreon.com/Detroit Lions podcast. My Patreon maniacs, I will be there very shortly. I've more to come. So we got a lot going on there. Join us. $5 a month gets you access to the Slack chat, which is the Riz is there, I'm there, Ash is there, Gray is there. It's some of the best conversations about the Lions. The game time threads are fantastic. The interactions.
Chris, $5. Like, I paid more than that for an egg this morning for breakfast.
Yeah.
One egg.
Yeah. It doesn't cost a latte. See what I did there?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I've fallen into a Progressive
terrible
commercial. Where's Flo? By the way, Flo's hot. Flo is sneaky hot. There's my controversial take.
Yeah.
Something about the apron.
Okay. Oh.
It works for me.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Jeff Risden, at DET Lions Podcast. Get in there. We do the thing. We love that. And be sure to go to DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Subscribe to the podcast so we can pop into your box automatically. You little
Sure. Why not?
or your whatever else you're listening to us in, your computer, your laptop, whatever. It's all in a little box.
Free to stream.
Yeah. It's all free.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. We're going to see you next time on the Detroit Lions podcast. That's Tuesday with Gray, Riz, and myself to kick off the training camp. We'll be talking about a whole lot of stuff, having a lot of moves. Okay, Flounder, you outdid me. A lot of great stuff coming up as we kick off this season. Remember, no pants, no toasters, no hot tubs, and no problems. Why, Riz? We are your Detroit Lions and Reddit connection. See you Tuesday.